Hi, welcome to the 2020 Women's Conference of the West Virginia American Baptist Women's Ministries. I am Sandy Foster Curry, Conference Coordinator. I wish you were all here, but we're doing the best we can. In the midst of this pandemic, one of our West Virginia Baptist ministers said, "The church is not closed, it has been deployed." And in Isaiah 43:19, God tells us, "See, I'm doing a new thing." So in the midst of this, we are coming to you in a new way on the internet, and we are coming boots on the ground.
Hi, I'm Kathy Hudson, President of the American Baptist Women's Ministries of West Virginia. Just real quick, I want to say it is a privilege, not a job, but an absolute privilege to serve you in this way. Don't you just love the theme of the very first virtual state conference that the women have ever had? The theme is called Boots on the Ground. Don't you just love that theme? And it just made me think of some new boots that I got, some rain boots. And I can't wait to get these on and get my boots on the ground. I see I've got a little bit of a problem before I can get these on, though, because my grandchildren came to see me. And I don't know what your grandchildren do when they come to visit you, but mine like to hide things from me. It might take me months to find some of this stuff. And I can see they thought Gigi wouldn't see. They call me Gigi. Wouldn't find some things that they hid, but they hid them in my boots. So let me get this stuff out of my boots, and then I'm gonna get them on the ground. Okay. Oh, I see that they have left me a little tablet in my boots. Oh, it's full of paper. Well, you know what that reminds me of? Our scholarship girls. They're getting ready to go to college, and they're going to have to use that paper to write and hopefully get really good grades. You're going to meet those 16 scholarship girls in a little bit. Let's see what else I might find in here. What in the world did they put in my boot? Look what that is, Superman. Why we love superheroes? My grandchildren love superheroes. But you guess what? On our executive board, we have a superhero. That superhero's name is Captain Alpha. Wait till you meet Captain Alpha. Now, I always wanted to be Lois Lane and Superman come swoop me up in his arms. Didn't happen. But okay, you've got Captain Alpha coming. All right, let's see what. Oh, there's my change purse. They did leave me some money. They didn't spend all of Gigi's money. You know what that reminds me of? The change that the women in 1930 started putting in love gift boxes. We're going to hear a little bit about a love gift in just a little bit. What else have they got in? A star. Oh, they found my star. But you know what? We helped a really, really sweet ministry here in West Virginia called Star Club. Wait to hear, women, how much you helped them this year. Let's see. Goodness gracious, they have just packed my boot full. Oh, West Virginia. My grandchildren know I love West Virginia, and I love the people in West Virginia and the good things they do. And these American Baptist women in West Virginia are unbelievable, especially through the ministries we have through West Virginia Hope. We've got some new ministries coming in 2021. Wait to hear about that. Well, look what these kids put in my boot. Roll toilet paper. Looks like they had quite a bit of fun with that. There's not much left on it, but boy, this stuff is valuable, don't we know? And I'm going to keep that for future use. But you know what that reminds me of? Our special project that we did for the state of West Virginia at Parcha Valley Conference Center. We had the handicap restroom built, and we're helping with that, and you're going to get to see the finished product. Oh, it's beautiful. All right, let's see what else these kids have put in my boot. Oh, of course. Got toilet paper, you got to have a mask. Can't travel without a mask these days. But we have a special missionary that you're going to get to hear in just a little bit, Rhonda Reed from Bolivia, and she challenged the women of West Virginia to make 10,000 masks so that would end up helping the House of Hope. So let's wait and see and hear about that story. Oh, good. I got one boot empty. I get to put that one. Boots on the ground. Let's see if I got. Oh, yes, these kids. One of them left their little train toy. Boy, that reminds me of the chapel cars that inspired our West Virginia Hope Ministries. So, you got a special treat coming with that story about the chapel cars. Oh, what in the world? Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is funny, kids. Yeah. How much did you put that? Really? Really? Okay, I'm almost coming to the end of... Okay, well, that was funny. All right, rope. Hold the rope. The Hold the Rope campaign for the West Virginia Baptist Convention. You've got something to learn about this. Our state treasurer, Amy, is going to show you how with just a click of a button on our website page, you can help support Hold the Rope. It's coming. I think last but not least, I hope my grandchildren put this in my boot because they know I love Jesus. And ladies, anything we've done as West Virginia Baptist Ministries, if we've not put Jesus Christ first, it's all for nothing. So we want to put Jesus Christ first. And we're going to hear a special message about the gospel today from a former scholarship girl. It's going to give you goosebumps. All right, I want to close with a verse from an old hymn. This Boots on the Ground and this Cross of Jesus reminds me of an old hymn I grew up singing in church, Onward Christian Soldiers. And I would love to read a verse of that to close. I love you and enjoy. Like a mighty army moves the church of God. Sisters, we are treading where the saints have trod. We are not divided, all one body we, one in hope and doctrine, one in charity. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before.
Hello, welcome to the Grapevine Chapel at Parchment Valley. This is a special place for a lot of people, especially for those of us that are international ministries missionaries. It's just a holy place. I just want to take some time this afternoon and just tell you a little bit about what's been going on in our lives. And I'll first start by talking about the project that I think most ABW know about, and that has been the mask project that we just completed. And just to give a little bit of history of how that amazingly happened. We had to leave Bolivia on April 30th because of the pandemic. It was really hard to leave. We couldn't say goodbye to anybody. We were in lockdown, and the ministry, the House of Hope, has been in the red for the last couple of months because the country was in political unrest because of the election, and we haven't been able to have any of our teams for months and months now. It just wasn't safe, and a lot of the budget from the House of Hope comes from teams. And so then the pandemic hit, and all of our spring and summer teams were canceled. And so I was, just like, God, we need money, and we can't go anywhere to speak because of the pandemic. So what do we do? One of our global consultants for health calls me and says, Rhonda, I have a friend that I went to school with to undergrad at Judson who's now working at Wheaton, and the state has mandated that they provide masks to all their students returning in the fall. And he wanted to know if I knew of anybody that could help him out with that, because they would give a donation to the ministry. I'm like, okay, so like how many masks are we talking about? She's like, 10,000. No. I said, okay, I'll talk to him. And so I got off the phone with her, Christy Engel, and I was like, this is so absolutely crazy. This has to be God. And so I got off the phone with him, and I'm like praying about it. I'm like, this is totally a divine, like, order of things. So, okay, we can do this. And so lots of emails, lots of phone calls, lots of back and forth with people everywhere. Our colleague that we work with in Bolivia is originally from Seattle, Washington area. So she got some of her supporting churches in Seattle, Oregon, and then some of obviously most of them came from West Virginia, and we are so very thankful. I just can't explain how thankful we are. But they came from all over the country, and we got 10,000 masks delivered to the convention office, and we sorted and packed and mailed, and it was a lot of boxes, but it's done, and it's going to help it'll bring us out of the red, and it'll completely pay for at least 3 or 4 months of our ministry costs, which have greatly increased because of the pandemic. So thank you. Okay, and now I'm going to give you a little bit of an update about Bolivia. We're in contact with our directors on site every day, multiple times a day. Bolivia came out of kind of their lockdown a couple weeks ago, but have gone right back in. I'm going to try not to cry. The health system has completely collapsed. The hospitals have shut down. Our 2 medical directors have COVID right now, are in their homes, sick. They've got it at work. One of our dentists that works with the ministry lost both of her parents 3 weeks apart. At least 6 of the pastors we work with have lost parents. So many people we know have been sick, like really sick. It's just really bad. So I just, there's no medical care, especially for the poor. Obviously, this is hitting the poor more so. They have no care. So they're dying in the streets. They're daily going around picking up bodies in the streets. It's horrible. We get a White Cross grant from the ABW every year that pays for our monthly medical and dental clinics. We usually do like 4 a month in different communities. And so obviously we can't do that right now. So we're using that money to help our leaders, all of our leaders and pastors that work with the ministry, just trying to help feed them and give them supplies. They haven't worked since March, and there's no unemployment there. So they just have no money and they have no food. So that's what the ministry has been doing since March. Again, the money from the masks will be able to help that above the White Cross money, which is just tremendous. I ask that you pray for our directors, Carmen and Richard. This has been super stressful for them. It's stressful for me, and I'm not even there. And they're seeing it, on a day-to-day basis while trying to protect their own family. So just pray for Bolivia. Pray for all the third world countries. They all have the same story. We have colleagues all over the world, and we all have the same story about what's going on in our countries. So when Sandy called me to do this, I was like, absolutely. And she wanted me to, she said, your theme is boots on the ground. And I don't own boots, like, per se, like nice, fancy ankle boots or winter boots, because it's just really hot where we live. And this is my normal everyday wear, sandals, and we just don't. But I do have rain boots because we live in the tropics and it rains a lot. And during rainy season, it rains all day, every day, 24/7. And so the rain boots stay by the front door always. We just line them up. They're just always there. You're always prepared with your rain boots. And if it's rained through the night, that when you open the gates to, the security gates and pull the car out, that you're going to step in, a couple feet of water. It's just normal. Not only want to keep your feet dry, but you just don't want to get the diseases that are streaming in the water down the street. And so, when I was thinking about boots, I'm like, these are like a daily thing for us. And we always have to have them. And if you don't have them, you go back and get them because you need them. And you always have to be prepared with your boots. And I was trying to think you could take this in so many different directions, preparing, put on you pull up your bootstraps and just do it, or a soldier with their boots, marching on to do Christ's work. But for me, personally, this is just an everyday part of life, and we absolutely have to look at the spiritual discipline of being in the Word and staying in constant communication with the Lord as putting on our boots every day. Not only do we need them just to go about our day, but it's a protection, these are protection from disease and all that's in the water and just the nasty trash that goes down the streets. But the Word, God's Word, and just when I walk out here and just talking to God, you have to do that every day. Days you don't feel like it, days you do feel like it. It's part of being prepared for whatever we're going to face that day, good or bad. Yeah, put on your boots, because you never know what you're going to step into. You just don't. So I want to end with that, and just thank you for giving me the opportunity of speaking to you ladies, even though it's through video. Love ya.
Hi, I'm Captain Alpha, and I live on the other side of the world in a place called Camp Alpha in Ryazan, Russia. I start every day at Camp Alpha by putting on my armor of God. Ephesians 6:13 says, "Put on your full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground." Camp Alpha is a Baptist church camp where kids can learn about Jesus. We have started building our Camp Alpha in the likeness of your Camp Cowan in Parchment Valley. You all probably know kids and adults who have had their lives changed at the camps. We want our kids to meet Jesus and learn to be disciples of Christ just like your kids. You can help the kids at Camp Alpha put on their armor of God by making a donation through your local women's circle. Camp Alpha Power!
Well, greetings everybody from First Baptist Church in St. Albans, West Virginia, home of Star Club, and our beautiful St. Albans area. I'm here today and very thrilled to be speaking with you and to give you some information about Star Club in general, a ministry that you supported so generously. And before I even start on what we do here with Star and our students, let me thank you. There have probably been 30 no-sew blankets, probably 35 notebooks all put together ready for these kids for school, numerous supplies in general, whether they be cleaning supplies or whether they be office supplies. But the biggie, folks, the part you're not going to believe, are the gift cards and the checks coming from your church. As far as check donations, there was $2,770 contributed. As far as gift cards go, there was $2,273 worth of gift cards. That equates, folks, to over $5,000. And we have been so grateful for your participation. You supplied things when we didn't even know we were going to need these things. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Now I'd like to give you a little bit about the history of Star Club and how we got started. And very briefly, Patty Schaefer, who was a member of our congregation, passed away, and she bequeathed a sum of money to the church. She was a teacher, and she wanted it to be used for at-risk middle school students. Thanks to Nancy Adkins, who spearheaded the first inquiry into the possibility, and then it developed into a committee with about a dozen people from all walks of life. And on October 12th, 2018, we opened for the first time. We opened with 15 kids, and although I personally thought I knew everything about this, I found out quickly that I did not. And there's so many things that came up, were involved, that you never think of. But anyway, we persevered, and we finished that first year. We operate with about 28 volunteers in a week, and we're a 5-day-a-week program. Monday through Thursday is basically homework and academics. Friday's a fun day where we bring in numerous organizations and people that enrich their program. It is maybe West Virginia State University's nutrition program, their STEM program. We have collaborated with the Rotary of St. Albans and have a grant to purchase a high tower, which is a fancy name for a greenhouse. They have community property in St. Albans, and we had so many visions for this. And of course, COVID arrived, and right now that is on hold. Our program is for students that are considered at risk, and it is an after-school program exclusively for middle school students. We are unique in that respect. There are no others in St. Albans, and we are not a babysitting service. We have goals. But to speak to the at-riskness of kids, we're talking about low income. We're talking about single parents, grandparents raising children. At one point, our oldest grandparent was 76 years old, raising an autistic grandson. Students with learning disabilities, 504 plans, IEPs in school, ADHD, ADD, not the easy kids, but the kids that truly need some assistance. And the beauty of all this is we're free. We are a 501c3, which means that we beg a lot. Our monies come in through donations and through grants, but most of our grants are small and specifically for a purpose. That's why you were so instrumental. Our monies came in some, but they were directed somewhere else. We serve McKinley and Hayes Middle School. McKinley's are bused by the county. Hayes, we use our church bus with our members of the congregation that drive that bus to pick them up. The parents are responsible at 6 o'clock to come after their students. That doesn't always happen, as you may well realize, and there are 4 parents that never pick up their kids. But we do that for them because they need to be here in our minds. You know, we hope to empower our students, to give them the feeling that they are worth something, that they should dream, and that those dreams are accomplishable. And that is nothing that you see immediately. This one particular young man has connected through Zoom and been to almost all the meetings. We have made a difference in his life. And he was with us since the beginning. He's now graduated, and he's a very unique individual. I have no clue what the future might bring here, thanks to COVID. People ask all the time, what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? I'm still praying about that. The school system hasn't decided what they're doing, and until they do, I have no clue what I'm going to be doing. I know it's going to be different. I know it's going to be more difficult, but I need to figure that out. But I won't do it alone. I know I have people around me who are going to help me out in that area. How successful we are, again, I don't know. But none of us know. As you all meet in a different format at your state convention, you're in the same boat. And as we look at our world today, it's in bad shape. If I had an option with STAR and had just a few things I could do, certainly homework is one of them, because they have to get through school. But the other two areas are character development and making a bridge in our society to bridge the hurt that is going on right now. I thank you for your time. Thank you for having me. I hope I've explained what we do. And if you find it in your heart to support us again, God bless and take care of yourself.
I'm Libby Young, First Vice President of the West Virginia American Baptist Women's Ministries and Coordinator of the West Virginia Hope Ministries. My committee and I have chosen new ministries for the year of 2021. My committee is Rosemary McDonald, Nancy Elkin, Dee Warner, and Kathy Hudson. I'd like to thank all of these ladies for working on this project with me. Each association president will receive complete information to share with local churches before October 15th. We will not have quotas for this year. We are asking you to give from your heart as you are financially blessed. If you cannot financially give to these projects, then we're asking that you could volunteer if one of these ministries is in your local area. Previously decided in the development of West Virginia Hope, Weirton's Christian Center will always remain on the list. The three new ministries are Life Choices and Pregnancy Resource Center in Clarksburg, West Virginia. They provide resources and empowerment and equip and educate during pregnancy and early childhood. House to Home, Parkersburg, West Virginia, providing basic services, shelter, meals, searches for employment, laundry and showers for the homeless and the needy in Wood County and surrounding areas. Fruits of Our Labors and Culinary Arts and Agriculture Education Center in Raynell, West Virginia, are working to empower the at-risk youth and young adults with education, training, empowerment, and personal and professional development. Ask that each one of you go to the West Virginia Baptist Convention.org website and search under Ministries for the West Virginia American Baptist Women's webpage to get more information on these developments. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Margaret Pratt. I'm the coordinator for Church and Community and the Special Project. Our special project this year is the Conference Center's restroom at Parchment Valley. They have built a handicap accessible family restroom for everyone to be able to use there. It is in the barn. Our goal this year was to raise $12,000. We currently have raised $3,940. So I just want to thank those that have donated. I want to encourage you all to continue to donate so that we can meet this goal. I'm going to turn you all over to Frank and Teresa Miller, and they're going to give you a walkthrough of the restroom.
These are some exciting times as we lead the ministry at Parchment Valley, Teresa and myself. And you know, it's just amazing that the American Baptist Women, the projects that they get behind and they endorse, and they've done so many over the many years at Parchment Valley that has brought great success and changed people's lives to make this a place where we can freely worship God and enjoy the fellowship. And one project I'm really excited about is our new handicap restroom. And we have many of our guests come in wheelchairs, and we're limited, and we just saw this great need where we wanted to provide a facility where it would meet their needs. And the American Baptist Women said, hey, we want to get behind you all and help you with this project. And that just got real energy and enthusiasm with our churches. And we thank you for believing in us and making a great difference. And this is our new handicap restroom. Actually, I wanted to move my office in here, but Nelson said, no, Frank, you're not doing that. But this is, as you can see, well built. The quality tile and the labor that went into this project. It's fully automated with lighting. Come on in. And of course, automated with the water and even even the flush. But this is just such a wonderful addition to Parchment Valley and another way to meet our guest needs. And we're very, very grateful. And not only were we able to build this handicapped restroom, but also Teresa said, you know, we need to move the office. And the office has been there since the beginning, I believe. And we flipped that to the other end of the barn, which gives us a better access to the property. And just was a twofold blessing, actually. So I just want to say how grateful we are that the American Baptist women chose this project that's going to bless lives for so many years ahead. And we just want to say thank you for choosing Parchment Valley as your special project. We truly appreciate it.
My name is Samantha Lawson. A lot of you know me as Samantha Wagner, but I recently got married, so my name is different now. Today, I just wanted to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to get to share a message with you and get to speak with you. I know it's virtually, but you know what? We can still share our love of God and our worship together this way. I'm really excited, and I just want to jump into it. I know we don't have a lot of time, so what I'm going to teach on today is unwavering faith. Deep, strong faith. And the examples I'm going to use today come from Daniel. We're going to start in Daniel chapter 3. I'm using my pink Bible, and it's an NLT version, so it's a little different than the King James, but it's just so it's a little easier for me to get the words out so I don't stumble. I also want to apologize if I mispronounce any of the names. I'm going to do the best I can. But you know, if you want to follow along, again, we're in Daniel chapter 3, and we're going to start at verse 8. All right, so at this time, some astrologers came forward and denounced the Jews. They said to King Nebuchadnezzar, "May the king live forever. Your majesty has issued a decree that everyone who hears the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipe, and all kinds of music must fall down and worship the image of gold. And whosoever does not fall down and worship will be thrown into a blazing furnace. But there are some Jews whom you have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who pay no attention to you, your majesty. They neither serve your God nor worship the image of gold you have set up." Furious with rage, Nebuchadnezzar summoned Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So these men were brought before the king. "Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the image of gold I have set up? Now when you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipe, and all kinds of music, if you are ready to fall down and worship the image I have made, very good. But if you do not worship it, you will be thrown immediately into the blazing furnace. Then what God will be able to rescue you from my hand?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to him, "King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it." Now listen to this. This is really important when it comes to unwavering faith. "And he will deliver us from it. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will never serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up." Now, ladies, that verse right there is so important because they've been faced with an awful consequence in the event that they do not follow what they're being told to do. But it compromises their beliefs and it compromises what they stand for. And in this moment, they're telling him, our God can deliver us from this. But even if he chooses not to, we're not going to worship the gods that you want us to or the image that you made. I mean, they're sticking to their guns, ladies. And if that's not unwavering faith, I don't know what is. I mean, they're telling him, even if he doesn't deliver us from this, we're not serving any other God. We serve our God. So let's continue. 19 says, Nebuchadnezzar was furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and his attitude toward them had changed. He ordered the furnace be heated 7 times hotter than usual and commanded some of the strongest soldiers in the army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the furnace. So the men wearing these robes, trousers, turbans, and other clothes were bound and thrown into the blazing furnace. The king's command was so urgent that the furnace be so hot that the fire killed the soldiers who took Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these men were firmly tied and fell into the blazing furnace. Then King Nebuchadnezzar leaped up to his feet and in amazement asks, "Weren't there 3 men that were tied up and thrown into the fire?" And they replied, "Certainly, your majesty." He said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound, unharmed, and the 4th looks like the Son of God." Nebuchadnezzar then approached the opening of the furnace and shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out, come out." Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fire, and the satraps, prefects, governors, and royal advisors crowded them. They saw that the fire had not harmed their bodies, nor a hair on their heads singed. Their robes were not scorched, and there was no smell of fire on them. Nebuchadnezzar said, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel to rescue the servants. They trusted him and defied the king's command and were willing to give up their lives rather than worship any other god than their God. Therefore, I decree that people of all nation or language who say anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, or Abednego be cut into pieces and their houses turned to rubble, for no other God can save this way." So ladies, we look at that story and you look at it and you see that these young men put it all out there. They risked their lives to show that their God is great, their God is mighty, their God is powerful, and that no matter what their God decided to do, they were rolling with it. They were like, "We're not going to serve your God. We're not going to back down or compromise what we believe in just to appease our king." You know, they loved their king. They were good to their king, but they refused to let their beliefs be shaken because of a decree, a law. And that's, if you think about that today, how many people would risk their life to do that? I mean, they were some incredible men, and their faith was truly unwavering faith. And that's something, we need to work towards. And, hopefully we can work towards that and have an unshakable, unwavering faith like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now, I don't have enough time to go into my next part of Daniel, so I'm just going to recap kind of what happened. So the next one was going to be in Daniel chapter 6. And what happened is Daniel is good friends with the king, and he's one of his good friends, and they set this decree out. These people that didn't like Daniel convinced the king to set something that says that you can't pray to any other god for 30 days. 30 days. And that's not, you think about it, that's not too bad. That's a month. You go a month without praying. He could do that. And Daniel didn't. Daniel continued to pray and talk to God and worship, our God. And they were mad about it. So they told the king, and the king had to follow through and put him in the lion's den. And Daniel said, he wasn't worried about it. Daniel wasn't worried about it because he knew that his God would save him. And he went through with it. He was thrown in the lion's den, and the king jumps up in the morning and runs down there and goes, "Daniel, is everything okay? Like, are you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm fine." God had shut the lions' mouths and kept Daniel safe. And because of that, Daniel was able to show that, our God protected him and kept him safe. And all he had to do, ladies, was go 30 days without praying. And like I said, that's 1 month in our time. 1 month. He had to go 30 days without praying. And he could have done it, but he didn't. He risked being thrown in the lion's den and was thrown in the lion's den because he knew his God would save him. And like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, if he didn't, he knew that it would be used for God's glory. Like, he knew that God would deliver him from it, and he did. Both of our stories in the Bible show us that They were given awful circumstances, like awful circumstances and consequences in the event that they didn't follow through with what they were told. And they stuck to their guns. They stuck to their faith, and they continued to worship the one true King. They continued to worship God and continued to give their faith to Him. They continued to give everything to God. You know, unwavering faith is something that I strive for every day in my life. I'm an imperfect person. God works on me daily. There are multiple things that I could improve in and I work on because I'm still not where I want to be, and we never should be. There should never be a cap. If you think you're where you need to be, you're not. There's always a bar that, it keeps raising, and we keep having to reach that bar because you want to be someone God is proud of, someone that you're proud of. And working on our faith and having unwavering faith is the perfect way to do that. I want to give some tips today to you ladies to help you try to work on growing your faith or helping make it more unwavering, strong, deep faith with God. The first one is to start your day with a prayer. The best way to get close in a relationship with God is prayer. Prayer life is something I have to work on myself personally. But pray. If you're not sure what to pray about, pray for your family. Pray for your church, your pastor. Pray for the women of West Virginia in the Baptist Conference. Pray for your pets. Pray for your job. Just pray. And if all fails and you're really not sure what to pray for yourself. I know sometimes it might seem kind of weird to pray for yourself and feel like you can't, but you can, and there's nothing wrong with it because God is always there for you. He can help you, and if you pray, God answers them. Not always in the way we want it to be answered, and not always in our time, but in His perfect time, He will reveal to you His plan. The next one is community. Get yourself a community that loves God. Get yourself in a Bible study group. I know right now times are a little different, so church is now virtual, but get you a Bible study group and call on the phone and talk about something you read. Do a virtual book group with the Bible. Pick a book and have your own mini Bible study. When churches are back open and operating, go to Sunday mornings, go to Sunday evenings, go to Wednesday. Get yourself a community. Get your kids involved in a youth program. If you're young, get involved in a youth program. It's a perfect way to build your faith and meeting others who love God just as much as you do. Surrounding yourself with a community of people that love you and love the Lord will help your spiritual growth. Mentally, spiritually, personally, your life will improve so much just by a community that loves God. The next one is scripture. Dive into some scripture, ladies. This book is the closest thing that we have to a roadmap. This is the closest thing God gave us to a way to navigate life. This book, it tells you everything you need to know about how to get to heaven. It tells you how to be a better follower of Christ. It gives you examples of people that were imperfect but loved God and worked at it. It gives you examples of people who, asked for forgiveness because they didn't always make the best decisions. And it shows you that people are human, but there is a way to ask for forgiveness. There is a way to be loved by God. Like, you just follow your Bible and it will tell you exactly what you need to know. And the last one is to trust. Trust in God. Lay everything out. Give Him your hopes, your fears, your dreams, everything you have. Lay it down. He loves you. And you know what's so great? His love is unconditional. His love is unconditional. He will be there for you when you're broken, when you feel like you're not worthy. He loves you. His love is unconditional. Lastly, ladies, we may be the only Bible someone ever reads. Model your life and the things you do to glorify God so others see you and they see God through you. Have your faith so strong and unwavering that they watch you and they go, wow, I want to be just like her. I want to love Jesus the way she loves Jesus. And I look up to a lot of you. You guys don't even see it. There are women and young women, children that look up to you when you read your Bible, when you are unapologetically loving the Lord. We look up to you and we're like, wow, I want to be just like her. I want to speak about Jesus just like she does. We're watching you and you don't even know it. You're the way you walk your life, you're a walking Bible for the Lord. You're a walking, talking person of unwavering faith for others. I hope, ladies, that each of us really yearn to be a better Christian, a better follower of Christ, and have a deeper relationship with God. If we work on our faith and our relationship with God, ladies, maybe, just maybe, we can be a Shadrach, a Meshach, and a Abednego, or a Daniel.
Nearly 230 years ago, convicted by Scripture and burdened by enormous need, recently ordained Baptist minister William Carey answered the call to go to India as a foreign missionary. Prior to his commissioning, he likened his journey to India as being similar to a rescue mission into a deep, dark well. Surrounded by potential supporters, his invitation was that he would go into the well as long as they would hold the rope. Those men became rope holders, and William Carey spent the next 41 years of his life planting churches, starting schools, translating the Bible, and reaching thousands of people with the gospel. As Baptists, we have a rich legacy of missions. Particularly, as West Virginia Baptists, we have a legacy that spans more than 155 years. Within that legacy, thousands of men and women labored hard to build a camp, to construct a conference center, to establish a collegiate ministry, and to train numerous individuals for gospel ministry. These ministries were established because of individuals who held the rope. In the year 2020, we celebrate our rich legacy. We also look forward to what lies ahead. Fixing our eyes on Jesus, we ask, God, how do you want to use us to reach the next generation? How can we, as a family of churches, better do Christ's work together? Like William Carey, we recognize the commands of Scripture, and we see the enormous need. So the question for you now is, will you hold the rope? Will you hold the rope for Camp Cowan so that children can be reached with the gospel? Will you hold the rope for Parchment Valley and help us train the next generation of leaders? Will you hold the rope for the School of Christian Studies, helping us train pastors and lay people? Will you hold the rope for Baptist Campus Ministries so that we can reach the more than 60,000 college students in our state? Will you hold the rope for church planting so that we can reach those who are unchurched? Will you hold the rope for missions so that people of every tribe, tongue, and nation may hear about and worship Christ? One of the greatest ways to hold the rope is through the Mountain State Mission Offering. By supporting this offering, either as an individual by committing to $20 per month, or as a church, setting a different goal, you are supporting all of the work we do together. It is evident that our state and our world need to hear the gospel of Christ. Let's continue our rich legacy by doing Christ's work together.
Wow, what a great video. Do we ever stop to think about all the things the convention does in our state to further the kingdom of God? Do we ever think about the role we play in that mission? This year, 100% of our conference offering will go to Mountain State Missions. Will you hold the rope? In an attempt to make giving easier, ABWM now has online giving. I'm here to walk you through the steps in order to do that. First, you're going to need a Tithely account. And there's two ways to do that. If you have a smartphone, you can download the app, go to the App Store on your phone and download the Tithely app.
That's TITHE.LY. Follow the steps to set up your account. You can also set up your account on your computer, and the same things apply. Now let me show you how to give online. You're going to go to Ministries on the West Virginia BC.org website. You're going to hover your mouse over Ministries, go down to WVBC Auxiliaries, and then over to American Baptist Women Ministries of West Virginia and click. Give Online is right here in the green. You're going to click that. And there you are. So right here, you're just going to put in how much you want to give. And the only option you have in this case is conference offering. Now, because I want all the $20 to go to the offering, I'm going to click right here to cover the fees. So my checking account is going to be charged $20.91. And then you just click right there. And are you sure you're going to want to give this? And I say, okay. And you're done.
Hello, ladies. I'm Judy Statch, your State Love Gift Coordinator. Love Gift is an over and above offering that supports American Baptist Mission and Ministry, begun during the Great Depression when the denomination faced the deficit of $500,000. The women challenged one another to raise enough funds to cover that deficit. They rose to meet that challenge and then some. Today, Love Gift is an extra gift to the United Mission support of the American Baptist family. Through Love Gift, Mission and Ministries in the United States, Puerto Rico, and around the world reach out to millions of people. Today, due to COVID-19, we are seeing deficits in mission and ministry. Let us rise to that challenge as well. If the 2020 goal of $100,000 is achieved by December 31st, the West Virginia Baptist Convention will receive $54,400. The first quarter began strong, up 1.33% over 2019's gifts during the same time period. Then came the COVID-19 shutdown at the end of March, and at the end of May, the grand total showed a major deficit, as you can see above. And again, at the end of June, the grand total, the deficit was increasing. So where do we go from here? Well, let's count our blessings. First, answered prayers for family, friends, and essential workers during this COVID-19 pandemic. Second, 10,033 masks were made by West Virginia Baptist ladies and some from Ohio for Wheaton College to secure $10,000 for the House of Hope mission in Bolivia. Amazing. Let's see. A penny per mask would equal $100.33. I think I'll write a check. That would be an awful lot of pennies to put in the box. So thankful for all who made this possible. Next, the use of technology to bring church services into our homes. The Zoom meetings used to organize outreach across our state. The West Virginia Baptist Convention virtual mission trips to locations where our missionaries are based to see the difference they are making in the lives of God's people. And the West Virginia Baptist Women's Ministries producing a virtual conference. Wow. Special thanks to Corrine Villers and the young interns Chloe Cook and Kayla Starcher for their assistance in putting our ideas into a new format. What are some of the blessings that you have received? Drop a coin in your love gift box for each of those. Is your love gift box overflowing? Mine certainly is. What is a love gift box? It began as a silver box in 1932 and it's changed its look through the years. The current box is silver to highlight the history during which the American Baptist women have given extra gifts to the American Baptist Mission and Ministry in gratitude for God's blessings. If we know, we pray. And if we pray, we give. was written on those early silver boxes. The silver illustrating that behind every cloud there is a silver lining. Well, we sure have seen a lot of clouds the past 6 months, but we've also seen silver linings too. So when you are able to put boots on the ground, get your love gift offerings to your church treasurer. There's a line on the mission giving report, line B, called United Mission Love Gift, where the treasurer enters receipts. The money is then directed to that account for your church to receive credit when sent to the West Virginia Baptist office at the end of each month. Love gift boxes can be obtained from Jennifer Huber. That's jennifer@wvbc.org or call 304-422-6449. Does one have to use a love gift box? No. You can write a check or do online payments designating it as United Mission Love Gift. I also use the box. When I drop money in the box, I take time to talk to God and express thanks. You can't talk to Him too much. Boots on the ground, ladies. We can do this.
Greetings to everyone watching. I'm Jane Mullen, and first of all, I want to thank Jesus for Kayla and Chloe for giving me the opportunity to be able to tell you about a ministry passion that I've developed over the last 20 years. I am the Scholarship Loan Coordinator for the American Baptist Women and have been in that position for 20 years. And I hope that you're going to be able to hear from all 16 of our scholarship girls this year. They have been assigned to 113 churches, and 49 of the churches have the same girls that they had last year. 10 girls have 9 churches, 5 girls have 8 churches, and 1 by her request has 5. I prepared bio sketches of all of the girls, and I sent them to the association church and community person or scholarship coordinator or president. And I mailed those May 18th through the 20th so that they could send them to all of the churches. So if you haven't gotten your scholarship girl yet, you need to contact your association person or contact me. I prepared a prayer calendar for the girls for all year, and if you used the prayer calendar last year, then you should contact me. I was going to pass them out at conference, but virtual conference won't allow me to do that. How did they become a scholarship girl? First, they had to be an active member of their church for at least 1 year before they applied. They have to have a GPA of 2.5 and maintain it, and they have to furnish a reference from the pastor and 2 character references, and they also have to write a letter to us talking about their personal relationship with Christ. They can have the scholarship for 4 years if they wish, but they do have to apply every year, and they have to remember to do that. The scholarship program was established by a vote October 12th, 1920, at the annual meeting of the Women's Society of West Virginia. Notice the name has changed since. We have been here for 100 years of doing this, and we know that since 1983, I believe it is, yes, 853 scholarships have been given. 653,950,000. That's how much that the women of West Virginia have donated for scholarships. You have been assisting girls for 100 years. Now, in the last 37 years, 90 girls have received 4 years of scholarship. 37 girls have received 3 years. 86 girls have received 2 years. And 165 girls have received 1 year. That's what you have done, ladies. Now, how do we keep it going? It comes from donations from the churches, from individuals, and the girls have to pay off 1/2 of that loan after they graduate. Now, you might want to donate something that will go toward their loan, and that will help them even more. So we hope that you will support the scholarship program, and the most important thing you can do is pray. Pray, pray for these girls, and thank you for what you do for them.
Hi, my name is Abby Reed. I'm from Parkersburg. I go to South Parkersburg Baptist Church. I am currently enrolled at Pierpont Community and Technical Center. I'm double majoring in pastry and baking arts and culinary arts. And I've been a scholarship girl for about a year now. And thank you for everything you guys have done, for all of your support, and continual prayers throughout this time.
Hey guys, my name is Abby Morano and I go to Oakville Baptist Church in Charleston, West Virginia. I am going to Marshall University to major in nursing and pre-PA.
Hi, my name is Destiny Thomas and I'm a member of First Baptist Church in Ravenswood. I attend the University of Charleston and I'm a nursing major. I am a sophomore there at the school and I'm also involved on the Student Activity Board and I'm also in Baptist Campus Ministries.
Hi, my name is Allison Copenhaver. I go to the Baptist Temple here in Fairmont, West Virginia, and I'm going to be attending West Virginia University this fall to major in animal and nutritional sciences. Thank you guys so much. Your support really means a lot, and I'm so happy to be one of the scholarship girls.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Palmer, and I go to Worthington Baptist Church in the Fairmont Association. I'm a sophomore at Cedarville University, majoring in early childhood education, minoring in Bible, and this is my second year as a scholarship girl.
Hi, I'm Ellie Rates. I'm from Parkersburg, West Virginia, and I go to Emmanuel Baptist Church. This year, I'll be a sophomore at West Virginia University studying environmental and community planning. I'm so thankful for you choosing me as a scholarship girl, and hopefully I'll be in contact with some of you in the upcoming year.
Hi, my name is Bailey Wellings, and I'm from Glenville, West Virginia in Gilmer County. I have attended Glenville First Baptist Church ever since I was little, and I was saved and baptized there when I was 11. I'm currently attending Fairmont State University. I'm double majoring in exercise science and psychology, and this is my second year being an ABW scholarship girl. And I just want to say I'm so blessed to be able to have this opportunity, and I just want to thank you all for everything that you've done, from sending gifts and cards and words of encouragement to supporting me in prayer and all that I do. I just want to thank you for all you have done for all of us girls and all that you will continue to do.
Hi, my name is Jacinda Dever. I am a member at Beulah Baptist Church in Grafton. I will be attending Waynesburg University and majoring in criminal justice and minoring in counseling.
Hi, my name is Lauren Kale. I'm a member of First Baptist Church of St. Albans in St. Albans, West Virginia. I will be attending Marshall University and majoring in biology.
Hi everyone, I'm Leah Mitchell and I go to Philippi Baptist Church in Philippi, West Virginia. I grew up here in Philippi, West Virginia. I go to Alderson Broaddus University and my majors are criminal justice and psychology.
Hi, I'm Marissa Earl. I'm from Petersburg, West Virginia, and I go to Petersburg First Baptist Church. This fall, I'll be going to Potomac State College and majoring in computer information systems. I graduated in the spring with an associate's degree in business administration. I have been a scholarship girl for 3 years now, and I have been blessed by the opportunity, and I love getting the encouragement throughout the semesters.
Hello, my name is Rebecca McCloy, and I attend Newark Baptist Church in Elizabeth, West Virginia. I go to Marshall University and will be a senior this fall. I'm majoring in English education, and this is my 3rd year as a scholarship girl. Thank you for assisting me in my endeavors.
Hello, my name is Carly Vickers and I attend First Baptist Church of Hurricane in Hurricane, West Virginia. I currently attend Marshall University where I am a sophomore and I am majoring in elementary education. I want to thank you guys so much for providing me and the other girls the opportunity to go to college and to have some of our college paid for, because otherwise we would be struggling financially, at least I know I would. So thank you so much for allowing me and the other girls to be able to go to college and do what we love to do for a living.
You might wonder while I'm standing by a depot, what in the world does a train car or a railroad car have to do with the American Baptist Women's Ministries mission work? Plenty. It's a great story, filled with adventure, the good news, and hope. I love to tell stories, especially when they glorify the Lord. And to appreciate this story, we have to go back in time. The 1890s and 1900s were an important time in our country's history. America was on the move. Towns were springing up as people began to settle. Some were looking for gold, some for petroleum, and some wanted to settle in a new place. As towns formed, businesses followed, stores, a post office. What about people's spiritual needs? Were people's spiritual needs forgotten? Not hardly. Enter the chapel car ministry. Evangelists realized that people in remote areas needed the good news. They needed the hope the gospel offered. Chapel cars were railroad cars, which were converted to churches on wheels. 13 cars were in the fleet, 7 were Baptist cars, and the car that served our area was called the Herald of Hope. 74 sermons were preached, 123 families visited, 6,000 tracts handed out, and there were 16 baptisms. The Herald of Hope visited Gassaway, Smithers, Calais, Gully Bridge, Hurricane, Boomer, Cedar Grove, Bell, and Cabin Creek. The chapel cars followed the train routes and stopped where people settled. Our isolation and hilly terrain was a perfect fit for chapel car ministry. But what about the cars themselves? They looked like churches. Pews were installed. Some even had stained glass windows. Missionaries lived on the train, making a car their home. Imagine the excitement when the chapel car rolled into town. You could hear hymns and good Baptist preaching. Men, women, and children flocked to the chapel car, soaking up the hope of the good news. Doesn't get any better than that. Reverend William Newton and his wife Fanny were the missionaries on the Herald of Hope. William died in 1931, and Fanny refused to leave the railroad car. It was her home. She remained on the Herald of Hope until her death. I love her spirit. And speaking of spirit, this is where you and I come in. White Cross was created during World War I. It supplied bandages, medical supplies, and surgical dressings. The needs of people have changed. White Cross has been changed, given new life. The American Baptist Women of West Virginia will continue the legacy and spirit of White Cross through West Virginia Hope, a mission honoring the chapel car ministry. West Virginia Hope will listen to what people need and meet those needs. That's good news. I love meeting the needs of people in my community. Like White Cross, we will get our packets in June. We may be asked to donate hygiene kits or baby supplies or school supplies. Items needed will change as people's needs change. Now more than ever, people need hope. It's time to get on board with this exciting new mission. West Virginia Hope is moving full speed ahead.
Thank you for joining us today on this virtual journey that we've been on for Ladies Conference. We didn't want to miss out on an opportunity to let you know what we're doing in the state of West Virginia, nationally and abroad. Back in around the year of 1871, there was a young woman by the name of Elizabeth Johnson Carter. She's from Long Reach, West Virginia, and she continued her education as she got older in Marietta at the Marietta Seminary, and there she met women who were planning on becoming missionaries. She decided that all women should be ready to head out into the mission field, but no one this society was based out of Chicago, and no one from Chicago had come to talk to the ladies in West Virginia. So she eventually received a letter from the secretary of the Chicago Society asking her to become the leader for the women of West Virginia. And Elizabeth initially declined. She decided that that wasn't going to be her calling, I guess. But time passed, and she did a little bit of experimenting with some women in her own church, and I think probably had a tug on her heart by God realizing that he had another plan for her. And so in the year 1879, at her home church, which was the First Baptist Church in Parkersburg, West Virginia, she became the first leader of what we now call ABW in her church. And eventually, in 1833, she became the first elected president for the ladies of West Virginia. For 137 years, we have had boots on the ground, basically. Ladies serving from all over the state of West Virginia, everything that they could get their hands on, everything from scholarship girls to projects at special projects at Parchment Valley, building camps abroad, and anything that they could get their hands on to serve the Lord in that capacity in mission work. The Apostle Paul says in Romans 10:15 that the feet of those who share the gospel message are beautiful because they spread good news. And I don't think that could be more fitting than the women of West Virginia who just give up a lot to serve him. I have been on the board. This is my 3rd year, and it's been an honor to be on this board and serve with these women from all over the state, good Christian women that I now call my friends, and they have their boots on. What about you? Don't put your boots on? Come join us.